Hello everybody, and welcome to today's video. Before we get started in this, I would just like to say I apologize for the lack of videos the last 2 days. The one that I had uploaded for the indie flashback was kind of scuffed. Editing software did not want to work for me. And, I had a long day yesterday, so I really wasn't able to upload the Lost Sector. I have it recorded and everything though, so those are coming out alongside this video. You'll see that. But I actually wanted to touch on the new Diablo collab with Berserk. Now, I know this is going to be a very controversial topic, and I would just like to say I don't have a script written for this video. This is just kind of an off-the-cuff thing, because I just saw the news today. If I knew more about it, I would have written a script for it, but I don't. But, it might be a controversial video. I've seen a lot of people online say, like, Miura's turning in his grave right now. Miura would not allow this. Miura wouldn't want this. And, it's always fair to make an assumption of how the creator would react to such a thing, or would, respond to such a thing, being asked of them. But, one second. As I was saying, we can always, kind of try to gauge how we would think a creator would react to getting asked to such a thing by a company. But, that's a whole different topic. As well as a lot of people have been saying, like, oh, Blizzard's in a really bad spot, so, instead of making the game good, they're just collabing with things to make it, to get money. I mean, that's a fair assumption, too. I'm not going to go into, like, a whole, I'm not going to go into the whole aspect of that stuff right now. It's kind of pointless to the topic at hand. Well, anyways, we're not going to get into that. But I did want to go over the 2 blog posts they put up, which is Become the Black Swordsman with Diablo 4 x Berserk, and Berserk collides with Sanctuary for a limited time. So starting off with this one, it reads, straight from the pages of Kentaro Miura's beloved dark fantasy, the threads and armors of iconic characters from Berserk can soon be yours. Set in a medieval dark fantasy world, Berserk centers on themes of betrayal, revenge, sacrifice, and monstrous power. Celebrate Berserk with limited time cosmetics you can earn and collect so your characters can walk the footsteps of these legendary figures. Don relics of war, symbols of ambition, echoes of vengeance, wear them and become a part of the legend. On May 6th, Kentaro Miura's iconic manga comes to life with the bloody chaos of Estor. Visit the in-game shop and defeat powerful demons to earn darkly glorious in-game cosmetics worthy of the Black Swordsman. And right here we see a screenshot. I can't really tell you what these enemies are. I have not played enough Diablo 4 to know them. And they don't look like anything from Berserk from what I've seen. But like, we have... let's start here. We have this guy right here. This is for the Necromancer class. We're going to get into this in a second. But we have the Necromancer here in the Skull Knight armor. We have Guts here with the Dragon Slayer sword for the Barbarian class, I believe is what it was. And then we have the Griffith armor and this armor for the Rogue, which is pretty badass. He stands as coughs rack his body, contorting his heavily wounded frame, streaking the snow crimson. Between shocks of pain, Femto's unyielding rage burns bright in his mind. He struggles, leaning on a sword, almost too big to be called a sword. Too big, too thick, too heavy, and too rough. More like a hunk of iron. He scans the surroundings, mountainous peaks fracture the sky. Smoke rises in the distance to anchor this moonless night. He breathes and steadies himself, his eye catching a most curious artifact of mist of the blood-streaked frost. A small egg with the markings of a face writhes in agony, a silent cry of anguish escaping his lips. He listens as the roar of frenzied monsters fill the air, his brand of sacrifice bleeding from their demonic presence. His grins contended, for he'll hunt and kill all those wretched monsters down to the last one. You guys are going to see cuts during this video. That are very obviously going to be cuts. I'm juggling doing dinner and stuff while recording this video, so, my apologies. But slay demons, earn baylets. Slaying powerful elite enemies in games has a chance to drop sinister bailiffs. Ovid creatures, ovoid creatures, which grant audience to powerful demons capable of terrible sacrifice. These bailiffs can be collected and then used to earn Berserk-themed cosmetics. So as we see here, with what you get a shield. I'm not that far into the manga. I've recently started reading. I'm a big fan of the series, and I've played a few games of Berserk, whether they be fan games or legit games, but the series intrigues me. Very big fan of what I'm into so far, so I can't really tell you what this shield is. But, like, here's what the king used to pretty much torture Griffith, and, you know, the iconic shape for his Band of the Hawk mask, as well as Femto's mask. I think that's just a backdrop for the show off of everything. They're going to explain this later. I think this is like a relic that drops when you die. I also just got into Diablo 4. You know, recently got into Diablo a few months ago. Just got into Diablo 4, so I don't know exactly what this is. I haven't seen it in Diablo Immortal yet. It might be for a party thing, but also I don't really party up that much in the game. So, who knows. And then, of course, the Brand of Sacrifice is a cosmetic for your character. And then this player card is what we can get from that. So, trade in Balix to the Trade in Balix to the Berserk Reliquary to claim items befitting the will of the God Hand themselves. Claim the Hawk's Destiny Back Trophy. Okay, that's what it is. The Hawk's Destiny Back Trophy. Oh, wait, no, it's this. Which houses the shackles that once held the fallen knight Griffith captive, the honorable Skull Knight's heraldry mount armor, or the curse of the brand sacrifice marking. So when they say or, who knows actually at this point? Because if it's an or thing, does that mean we only get to pick one, or, you know, are we going to be able to trade in as many bailiffs as possible to get everything? It's where it comes to be a good question. I don't know these things. But you see, here's the shackles and everything of Griffith on the back of a character that looks strikingly similar to Griffith. The foretold Eclipse headstone evokes the great sacrifice that devoured the Band of the Hawk to exalt their most trusted commander, Griffith. Yeah, it's a death marker. Okay. And then, upon seizing all items in this reliquary, you will earn the Ode of the Berserker emblem, a potent symbol that aligns with the unflinching violence of its wearer. Okay, so you do get to collect everything. Claim iconic armor in the in-game shop. So as we see here, a better just picture. There's the Skull Knight, there's Griffith. Could not tell you exactly what this armor is, and then here's the Berserker armor. So, the loyalty of the ill-fated Band of the Hawk's mercenaries was matched by their bravery in combat. Become the legend of the Black Swordsman and don the Barbarian's Berserker armor, so it is for Barbarian. Avenge your fallen brethren as you swear vengeance on Femto while cleaving demons by the hundred. As a necromancer, wear the finery of the Skull Knight, in the ancient enigma, eternal foe of the Inhumans. Wander next to the... I'm going to slaughter this. Chimimoro Schnospet, the oddity of the astral plane. You have from May 6th to June 3rd to visit the in-game shop to alter your destiny and purchase these premium cosmetics for your own. The Berserker armor for the Barbarian. This is the cosmetic they use, which is pretty... the picture they use, which is pretty fucking sweet. The Hawk of the Light Rogue. So, rogue armor. The Struggler, that's what... Oh, I'm stupid. I didn't notice this was Guts' normal armor. So, it's the normal Guts armor. The Struggler for the Rogue. And the Skull Knight for the Necromancer. Beautiful, beautiful set. Looks so fucking pissed. Like that one Bulldog picture where it was just angry. And then the Schnoz pet bundle. And then you also get a mount and mount armor for the Warhorse. Looks pretty clean if you ask me. And then finally, on this article, Berserk Twitch drops. These two are not destined to die. There is no time. Skull Night following the events of the eclipse. To celebrate the collision of Diablo 4 and Kentaro Miura's Berserk, we will have a support a streamer initiative for the Skull Bailet Mountain Trophy. For more information related to how to earn this otherworldly cosmetic, stay tuned for a future blog. So there will be stuff that I will cover later, probably just in shorts about it. But you did well to reach this far, reader. It would seem this is one of the ends. Struggle, endure, contend, for that alone is the sword of the one who defies death. So a pretty peak collaboration for Diablo 4. Now for my free-to-play players that play Diablo Immortal, or my Diablo Immortal players that might be watching this video, for the people who watched the Diablo 4 section and just want to get to the end of it, here's a timestamp telling you where the end is. But now we're about to get into the Diablo Immortal stuff. Starting now. Okay, so Berserk collides with Sanctuary for a limited time. Hello, Diablo Immortal crowd. Hope you all are enjoying this video so far. Guts, Griffith, gore galore. Straight from the pages of Kentaro Miura's hellish dark fantasy manga, Berserk comes alive in Sanctuary with the Diablo Immortal x Berserk crossover event. Struggler's Path. Crossover event. From May 1st to May 30th, battle against the fearsome and immortal Nosferatu Zod. Survive your sacrifice in Struggler's Bane. Wield fearsome power with the Crimson Bailet legendary gem, and much more. Set in a medieval dark fantasy world, Berserk centers on the themes of betrayal, revenge, sacrifice, and monstrous power. Blah blah blah. You guys heard that in the last one. The Codex. So what we'll be covering in this gives us more of a cohesive idea of what's to cover. Pay Death a visit to fight Nosferatu Zod. Deny your sacrifice and eclipse Struggler's Bane. Harness the eclipse with the Crimson Bailet legendary gem. Shape Earth with the Golem Familiar. Broken Band's armament. Change your destiny with Berserk weapon cosmetics. And claim Berserk login rewards. So, to start off with Pay Death a visit to fight Nosferatu Zod. Here's his in-game model. Looking very clean if you ask me. And you know, for a mobile game, pretty clean, pretty clean. You're not going to get much with a mobile game, but, you know. Anyways. Feared throughout Midland, warriors and noblemen tremble at the whisper of his name. Nosferatu Zod is an immortal legendary warrior known as for his ferocity and mercilessness. He's said to have slain thousands on the battlefield. Zod now sets his thirst for blood upon Sanctuary, intent on finding an opponent formidable enough for his might. You'll soon be able to challenge this embodiment of bloodlust, survive the storm of his attacks, and prove yourself his most worthy opponent in his over 300 years of slaughter. Everything on the battlefield is a weapon to Zod. The longer you fight him, the more he will relish the struggle, increasing the wrath you'll face. Those that hold the Crimson Bailet legendary gem will have the ability to face an even more powerful Zod, execute your best pincer move, and defeat this enraged Zod to claim tantalizing rewards. So it doesn't tell us what all we're going to get for beating Zod, but we are getting stuff for defeating Zod. So, deny your sacrifice in Struggler's Bane. There's the Tempest. That looks like the Mage, maybe. And then the Barbarian. And this little artwork. With the eclipse in the back and, you know, the souls and heads of everybody. Some demons in the back. Pile it up, take all you have left. Chant the words, I sacrifice, in your heart, and you will be granted raven black wings upon which you'll soar higher than any summit. As Griffith's weakened husk clung to any semblance of life, the Crimson Bailet lay within his withered hands. A wordless face swam in existence, eager to heed its master's call, the desire to summon the God Hand and acquire his own kingdom. The infamous eclipse comes to life within Survivor's Bane. The eclipse is an apocalyptic event within Berserk, where the Band of the Hawk was sacrificed by their former leader to exalt him to member of the God Hand. Within the eclipse, these doomed warriors were teleported to a hellscape, mercilessly slaughtered after being marked with the brand of the sacrifice. While Survivor's Bane is active during the Struggler's Path event, you'll be able to fight within the eclipse itself. Every other minute, you'll experience the eclipse for 60 seconds. The full eclipse for 60 seconds. So, every minute, you'll experience the eclipse for a minute. So what it sounds like is eclipse 1 minute, eclipse no eclipse. Eclipse 1 minute, no eclipse. Eclipse 1 minute, no eclipse. The entirety of this event. So like every single minute, it's just going to trigger an eclipse. Rally as though you are side by side with the Band of the Hawk, fighting for your life despite the brand of sacrifice freshly etched upon you. The Struggler's Bane brings fearsome new horrors. Terrifying demons that will attempt to claim your life, and the land around you will be familiar despite being transformed into a hellscape. While the eclipse is active, a new unique boss also waits there to execute the God Hand's bidding. Who could that be? I feel like it's going to be one of the apostles from Berserk. I would love to see the Snake Apostle or the Slug Apostle. But also there's apostles that I don't even remember the name of. There's that one guy who gets into like a fucking 1,000 foot tall that I heard about. Or, you know, there's like, I don't know. What apostles are we getting? It's definitely has to be an apostle that we're going to be facing. But you know, who knows? Harness the eclipse with the Crimson Bailet legendary gem. The Crimson Bailet writhes in silent agony, eyes staring unfocused, ready to receive the sacrifice necessary to exalt a mere human to that of a god hand. This fearsome new legendary gem arrives with the Struggler's Path. The below value reflects its power at rank 10. Okay, so this tells you what it does. Your Bailet activates in response to your overwhelming desire, granting you the Bailet power you seek the most. While healthy, dealing damage grants you Bailet's Wrath, temporarily increasing your damage. When your health is reduced, taking damage as you gain Bailet's Mercy, reducing your damage taken. When a Bailet power triggers, it releases a scream of terror at the enemy's location, fearing nearby enemies temporarily. Each Bailet power has its own separate cooldown. That's pretty fucking sweet. Shape the earth with the golem. Oh yeah. And here's the Bailet. Pretty sweet picture. I want to make sure I didn't miss another one. Yeah, I didn't. Okay. Cool. Shape earth with the golem familiar. These are cute. I'm definitely picking up one. This reads, although they are formed of earth and water, these stumbling creatures are sturdier than they appear. Golems are constructs capable of protecting their master, even in the deadliest of situations. You'll soon have the opportunity to obtain these unique familiar skins, which give your familiar the look of these earthen companions. Oh, okay. While the Struggler's Path is active, your first summoned familiar is guaranteed to be a goblin. Much like nature, your golem transformed beautifully as you'll be able to customize this familiar skin. Combine these decorations to make your goblin a companion unique to you, sure to catch the eyes of your fellow strugglers. That's really cool. I like that they're going to be customizable. And then the Broken Band's armament. Follow your comrades into victory and demise. Known for their fabled prowess on the battlefield, the Band of the Hawk were one of the most revered and feared mercenary forces across all of Midland. These resplendent threads evoke their leader Griffith, in a time before the betrayer would sacrifice all of his faithful companions to manifest his dream. Take up the armor of Guts, the struggler and raid commander in the Broken Band's armament. So we're getting the Berserker armor, which... yeah. It's a mobile game. You can't expect much. You know, also, here's that golem familiar that they showed. Very cute. You can't expect much from a mobile game. You know. And then we have the Hawk of the Light. Personally, this looks a lot better. This looks like Berserk armor in World of Warcraft, which is not supposed to be a jab. I love World of Warcraft. It just looks kind of dated. But like I said, this is also a lower end Diablo game that's for the mobile. So beggars can't be choosers. Defy your destiny with Berserk weapon cosmetics. For the duration of the Struggler's Path, you'll be able to earn exclusive Berserk-themed weapon cosmetics lethal enough to challenge the fiercest demons of Sanctuary. 8 skins are available to claim, 1 for each class. Log in during the event to select your preferred tool of demonic dismemberment, the first of which will be specific to your class. Weapon skins available during the Struggler's Path include the fearsomely massive Dragon Slayer Greatsword. And finally, the last one is claim Berserk login rewards. We'll just say I had to reshoot this. My computer completely bugged out on me when I was trying to. So this specific one little thing is a reshoot. Claim Berserk login rewards. While the Struggler's Path is live, log in to earn the following items. 1 Struggler's Path weapon cosmetic, 1 Crimson Ballet legendary gem, Eclipse Portal Cosmetic, Eclipse Frame, and 10 Legendary Crests. This initial taste of glory can be sated by earning further rewards battling through the Struggler's Path to earn more. You did well to reach this far, reader. It would seem this is one of the ends. Struggle, endure, contend, for that alone is the sword of one who defies death. And finally, that is the Berserk Diablo Mortal collaboration. So, now we're at the end. This was definitely not the greatest video I've ever made. Like I said, I kind of just shot it on a whim. Just saw the patch notes, so that's always fun. No script either. Kind of made it detrimental to that, but the next video I do is going to be more more cohesive, better. Hopefully there's not many, fuck ups in my dialogue. By that I mean just like mispronouncing things or stuff like that. Anyways, I hope y'all are as excited for this event as I am. I'm gonna get my Skull Knight armor and my Berserker armor, as well as my Schnoz pet, and do what Diablo Immortal has to offer, as well as everything Diablo 4 has to offer. I am eating this shit up. But I hope you guys will too. I hope you guys that play the game enjoy it. And I hope the Berserk community doesn't see this as too much of a disgrace to Miura. I'm not some Blizzard apologist or anything. I just started playing their games. But, I do hope that everybody enjoys this as much as I'm going to. It's pretty badass. Also, that music you heard in the background is an album by my buddy. Will not give out too much information about it yet, but his music will be linked below as well. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you did enjoy it. And I just uploaded the video for cookies, and I uploaded a Lost Sector just now, as well as this. But with that all being said, I hope y'all have a great rest of your night, or a great rest of your day, depending on when you're watching this. By the time this is all live, I should be live on Twitch. Don't know exactly what we're going to be playing right now, but I'll be live. If this goes up earlier than I think it does, 9:25 Eastern Standard Time, every single night. The Gauntlet will arrive January 1st. And with that being said, take care, everybody. I'm out of here.